chilly tonight. And getting the start is Diego Corrales, the lefty for Barb. And I just talked to Glenn Cicchini before the game about this kid. All right, listen, only one loss in the last 3 seasons. And he's little, but he's mighty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's what it tells you is he doesn't beat himself, right? He's going to put the ball on the plate. He's going to challenge hitters, and he has confidence in his ability and, of course, the ability of those guys behind him.
Fastball, slider, changeup. The changeup is going to be his best pitch. When it looks good, it's got sinking fade. It's going to bottom out. And exactly what you said, Cozy. Glenn Cicchini sharing that this kid is such a competitor. The height does not measure the heart, as Marcus Stroman would say. So I'm excited that he's going to get to start against some really dangerous bats. Again, IMG, the lineup, they're going to be sporting tonight. They've got All-Americans. They've got guys who have been at IMG for a long time. And what's special about what IMG does in the Ascenders is that they get a chance to see their teams early in the fall. They see them in August, and so they're getting a chance to see what kind of team are we going to field. Speaking of those All-Americans, Andre Maduno you see right there, but check out these guys. Noah Franco, as we said, he's going to get the start, committed to TCU. He just committed recently, which is really exciting. Maduno is a Duke commit, and Aukai Kea, all the way from Hawaii, deciding to come play at IMG, is a Vanderbilt commit.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
How about Noah Franco's batting in the 7-hole tonight?
A two-way guy.
Imagine that, right? So your team is talented enough that you can put that guy in a 7-hole.
It's really, really impressive, and we'll get a chance to tell you a little bit more about where he's been, how he's developed. I'm excited to share that, but we're about to get started. First pitch here on PG TV. Batting leadoff, Gunnar Guile will get things started for IMG, and there's strike one from Diego Corrales. Guile out of Tucson, Arizona, playing left field. And that ball will even the count 1-1.
Tough look for Guile right here, left on left, obviously.
By the way, check out those Barb uniforms.
They are beautiful.
Oh my gosh, up close and personal too. Really, really cool.
Look like they have a little sheen to them, huh?
They do. They're a little shiny. They're really comfortable. The players love them.
They got a little bit of a Kansas City Royals flair to them, maybe, huh?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. 2-1 pitch on its way. It's in there for strike 2. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Guile.
Let's focus on Ledoux. That was a borderline pitch right there, and he did a great job of receiving that. He understands what he's working with from the glove standpoint back there.
That's a ball in the air to left. Coming over to make the catch is Stutes. One away for Barb.
You know, when you've got a guy like Corrales that, you know, wants to stay out of the heart of the plate, wants to operate in those shadow zones, then it's really, really important for him to have that great relationship with Ledoux, you know, forming that battery, working as a cohesive unit.
That is such a good point, and that is something that Coach Cicchini talked about as Dean Moss steps in. Takes a ball low. They kind of know their strengths. They know Barb, how to play Barb brand of baseball, right? And that it's about not making mistakes, capitalizing, but just playing their brand of baseball.
Sure. Well, and not to say IMG doesn't play fundamentally sound baseball. Obviously they do. They're very disciplined. They're very well coached. But, you know, they kind of try to bludgeon you with talent, right? Whereas Barb, they have a very specific style. They have a tremendous tradition that runs deep, you know, for generations. So, you know, that's what they're thriving on is their style of baseball.
Another fly ball to left. Stutes makes the second out. Dean Moss, by the way, will tell you a little bit more about this guy. I just saw him pregame. You can see there he's got his mouth covered. He's cold. He's a California kid who's now in Florida, and he's a little chilly, but this is the 5th-ranked player in the country. You can see that sweet swing, and he's gained. I mean, he looks bigger from the last time I saw him.
Physicality has really come on for him. I remember when he was at the 14U Select Fest, and he won the Home Run Derby, right? You remember that down at JetBlue? And then I got a chance to see him at USA Trials this past summer, and I was like, wow, okay, the physicality is much better. You know, he's leaning on baseballs, and I mean, that ball right there has got a chance to be gone at most high school parks right there. But here we are at the Hoover Met, where, you know, that's where fly balls go to die, right?
We are working in a big ballpark. Here's Josh Hansen, batting 3rd in the lineup. He takes a strike from Corrales. Hansen committed to Southern California in the class of 2024. He's from San Francisco, another California kid. Swing and a miss through strike 2, so Corrales ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Hansen's put together, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
A lot of bat speed, as you saw as he swung through that pitch. And that was Corrales' marquee pitch, the changeup, I would imagine.
That's the best one he's got. That's what Len Cicchini said. 2-2 count to Hansen. That one missing the zone, so now a full count with 2 away in the top of the first.
Come on.
That's on the ground, up the middle. It's going to get through. Hansen's got a 2-out single to extend the inning for IMG.
Nice job of cutting down with 2 strikes there, moving the baseball. Got rewarded with the base hit up the middle. Going to be interesting to see how Coach Gabbard wants to play this. If he's going to, see if the running game is part of the equation right away with Ledoux behind the plate.
And this is Dylan Moss. And he swings at the first pitch, drives it into right field. Hansen's going to go first to third. And now IMG has runners on the corners. Dylan Moss, the sophomore, the catcher behind the plate.
Didn't waste any time, did he?
I'm excited to share more about him, but he didn't.
Just shows his intelligence, his baseball IQ. He was not the least bit concerned with pulling the baseball. And if you've noticed, everything so far from IMG has been opposite field to up the middle. They're not trying to pull the baseball. And if you try to do that with Corrales, then you're going to get yourself in trouble.
2-on-2 down, top of the first. Sean Gamble will get a chance to bat, the Vanderbilt commit from Des Moines, Iowa. And he takes ball 1. The bat speed for Dylan Moss looked really good.
Very good. And, the swing path, bat head awareness. Just looked like a very mature approach for a young guy in a big-time environment. This lineup never quits, does it? I mean, it's just one guy after another. And we got Gamble, and then I think we have Franco next, right? So. Or who do we have in the
Jackson,
6th?
I think Jackson LaLima.
Okay.
And then Noah Franco. He's in the hole. 2-0 pitch on its way. That's low. Ledoux stays in front.
Dylan Moss with the dirt ball read right there.
He takes second base. What do you make of guys who can get a jump like that and have the awareness to take second like that?
I mean, it's instinctual, but it's also, well coached. They're watching ball out of hand, watching angle out of the hand, and he anticipated that ball didn't get to the ground before he had already gotten himself into his secondary lead and was on his way to second. So.
There's a strike that catches. It's 3 balls and 1 strike, the count to Gamble.
I mean, I have a soft spot for catchers, but I'm liking the way Miles Ledoux is working behind the plate right now.
Yeah, you know something about that, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
That ball is low. It's going to load the bases up for Jackson LaLima. This is where Barb gets in trouble, right? Because you get your 2 outs, 2 fly balls, 2 quick outs, and then the patience of IMG, the bat speed, as you said, it's a relentless lineup.
Yeah, there's just no relief. So it's not going to be actual successful venture if you're working behind this lineup all night long. So, Corrales needs to be pushing the envelope as far as trying to get soft contact early in the count, and he needs to dictate what goes on rather than trying to come into the zone. He's got to go from small to big, but right now he's going from big to small as far as his control is concerned.
So Glenn Cicchini comes out to have a quick chat with Diego Corrales, the head coach of Barb. As we mentioned, this is his 38th season, actually. 38th season at Barb. I went down to check with him. He corrected me as well. I mean, the record, the resume is so incredible.
1,000 wins in high school.
Can you believe it?
I mean, that's amazing.
Corrales gets a swing and miss for strike one to Jackson Lalima, the University of Houston commit in the class of 2024.
There you go. I'm glad to see that, he was featuring his best pitch, right there, the changeup. So
nice job by the infielders, giving each other a hug to make that catch.
That was a big league pop.
That was a big league pop-up. The runners are stranded. We're going to go to the bottom of the first. Barb will bat when we come back. But Noah Franco gets the start for IMG, the two-way star. He's out of California, just committed to TCU. He ranks third in his class, and my, oh my, am I excited to see him right now.
Yeah, special talent. I mean, been able to enjoy watching him play for the last 2 or 3 years. And, I really respect the way he went about his recruiting process.
Too.
It was very methodical, very thought out. Obviously, Kirk Sarloos at TCU has got an absolute special thing going. My pick this year, by the way, for the national champions.
What do you got?
So I picked TCU.
Oh, TCU.
Our preseason ranked number 5 team on our perfect game collegiate poll. So, but TCU's getting a great one if he makes it to school, right?
Yeah, I'll be surprised if he gets on campus. By the way, there's a punch out 1, 2, 3 of Jordan Griffin. That's one away for IMG. I will be really surprised. I texted TJ Bruce about him as well, getting to campus. Just exciting, I think, for TCU to get a Noah Franco commit. I think the world of him as a person, not just the athlete. And the strikeout there of Jordan Griffin, I mean, you're kind of seeing him just dominate right now.
Yeah, I mean, to say he's on the attack would probably be an understatement at this point. And I agree with you that I thought it made a tremendous statement for TCU to land somebody like Franco. When I saw that, I dug in a little deeper, and that program is as well funded as any in the nation. And Noah Franco didn't go there just because of NIL money.
Two-way guy, really can do it all, and he's got 2 quick outs. J.D. Alexander, the batter for Barb, he takes ball 1 low.
Pretty neat to see how many legitimate two-way players are coming through the ranks now. Obviously, we have a bunch, and everybody knows about Jack Caglione at Florida, but, I think it's going to become more and more common.
His development in college, I feel like, has been taken to a different level. The technology, the pitching labs that schools have, there are major league teams who are starting to mirror their programs after college programs, and there's a good reason for it. Wake Forest in particular, in what they're doing with their pitching staff. But if you come to campus and you see they have these tools, why wouldn't you go develop there? Why wouldn't you take a couple extra years, especially if, let's say, the number is not where you want it to be, or you're drafted lower than you were expecting? Going to college is now not a consolation prize. I think it is just 1B, right?
No doubt.
It's just 1B.
No doubt. Well, I mean, let's look at what's going on in the college level. Max Wiener at Texas A&M, the new pitching coach, was a pitching coordinator for the Seattle Mariners for the past 3 years, right? So how is Texas A&M able to pull him away from the Mariners? Well, it's about obviously the salary, but the resources and the opportunity to explore their craft a little deeper. receiver, you know, and then Auburn has got Tiefert, who was the pitching coordinator for the White Sox. It's their pitching coach at Auburn now. So, you know, if you see that colleges are able to pull away pitching coordinators from Major League Baseball organizations, that tells you what's going on at the college level right now.
Yeah, and the players, I think, really love working with these coaches, too. I've heard so many good things from around the ACC and the SEC so far to start the season. Noah Franco doing a fantastic job. He's a swing and a miss for the strikeout. That's the third out. 2 strikeouts for Noah Franco in a chilly day here in Hoover, Alabama, but a fantastic one. Thanks for joining us on PGTV. Noah Franco, we just saw him, 2 strikeouts in the bottom of the first. Will lead off for IMG. He takes a strike from Diego Corrales.
Chilly tonight, but Franco came out hot in that first inning, sitting 92-93 with the fastball, so I'd say he's plenty warm right now.
Yeah, a top 2-way guy in his class, committed to TCU, as we were just talking about, ranked 3rd in the class of 2024.
You know, TCU has a guy that's not too dissimilar to Noah Franco and Peyton Tolley that transferred in from Wichita State, pitching for them on Friday nights and hitting the middle of their order. Left-handed pitcher, left-handed hitter. So
Franco hits that ball on the ground. A little bit of a shift on with Barb, and they make the easy play over at first. And I'd have to imagine, Cozy, that's part of the recruiting process is, hey, we have a guy here. We know how to work with him. Here's our detailed plan of how we find success with him. Here's exactly what we're going to do with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the workload for 2-way guys is incredible. You know, high school players realize, I used to have high school pitchers, you know, that would hit, and they'd come, well, what am I going to do with, you know, my week when I come to practice? And I said, your preparation is going to be tenfold what you did in high school to get you ready for your starts or your appearances. So imagine hitting as well. So it's definitely it's a very specific craft to be able to keep those 2-way guys sharp.
Andre Meduno hits it hard on the ground to short. Galt, it bounces off of him, and so Meduno is safe over at first. Meduno, by the way, out of New Jersey, and his dad, Vito, is one of my favorite people. Got to know Vito. I got to know the Meduno family a lot this summer from the All-American game, but huge fan of Vito Meduno. I'm sure he is watching somewhere, maybe in an operating room. I don't know. Dr. Meduno, I do believe.
Wow. Well, if your first name is Vito, you got to be a cool guy. You don't have any choice, right?
That's true. That's true. This is Grant Wilson. He rounds out the lineup for IMG. He's out of Westlake, Ohio, committed to Tulane.
Tulane with a Cinderella story last year, winning the conference tournament. I think they were the last team to qualify for the American, and made a run through that thing and made a return trip to the NCAA tournament. Meduno really stung that ball. I mean, that ball got on Galt really quickly.
Just a swing and a miss from Wilson. Yeah, to your point, I think about Tulane and about mid-major programs in college baseball and where they're at, again, the development level. I just think of it as such an incredible opportunity for someone to get to campus and get a chance to play a lot and get your reps and make mistakes and figure out what kind of ball player you are.
Sure. Well, and I've kind of adopted the non-Power 5 description.
Oh, I like that.
You know, I mean, because how in the world can you say that Coastal Carolina is not a Power 5 program, right?
Yeah, great point.
So, you know, we know that it's just a qualification of the conference that you're in.
Meduno takes off for second. Wilson hits it on the ground. That was pretty slick by Washington over at second. He makes that play. Let's see that one more time. There's 2 away.
It was a lot more
frame.
difficult, yeah, than I think we all initially thought. The runner gave him space, but could have blocked him out.
Back to the top. Gunnar Guile will bat with 2 away in the top of the second. Check on Meduno. That ball gets away. Heads up base running by him. He'll take third. Guile flew out in his first at bat. IMG had the bases loaded in the first. They weren't able to push a guy across. Barb got out of the jam with a pop-up. Ledoux's going to call time and go chat with his pitcher.
And Ledoux just saved a run right there. Shouldn't go overlooked, right? We used to keep that stat in the dugout. We called them purple curtains because we are kind of playing on the steel curtain of the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day defensively, right? So our jerseys were purple, and anytime our catchers blocked the ball that saved an extra base, we called it a purple curtain. So.
Oh, Guile just destroys that ball. It's foul, though, just outside right field line. I love that. That's great.
So we had a whiteboard in the dugout, and whenever the catchers would come running back in, and let's say that, they had 2 purple curtains, they got to go and put their marks on the board because we wanted, those are game-saving plays.
1-1 pitch. Guile fouls it off.
So how about Corrales right there? I mean, Gunnar just yanks the ball foul with authority, and he comes right back in there with a fastball on his hands.
No fear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Conviction in what he's doing.
1-2 down, and a 1-2 pitch on its way. That one's hit on the ground to short. It's going to bounce past the shortstop and score Modugno. So IMG gets on the board 1-0. That's a 2-out RBI for Gunnar Guile.
Well, we've been talking about the approach by IMG with their tenacity and unwillingness to pull the baseball, and Gunnar Guile getting rewarded right there for his opposite field approach.
Here's Dean Moss. Guile takes off for second, no throw down. Hey, fun story. So you mentioned Dean Moss in the home run derby. I saw Dean Moss, I think when he was 11 or 12 years old, at the USA Complex in Cary.
Yeah.
And he won the home run derby that we had, and we had to do a post-game interview, and I don't know why anyone let me do an interview with 11 or 12-year-old kids, and it went horribly. It went exactly how you thought it would. Moss takes a pitch on the outside. It's 2 balls and no strikes, and it was just disastrous, but I distinctly remember Dean Moss there, and come to find out, I mean, look who he's become. It's really cool to watch his ascent. He's an LSU commit now, and he's earned every bit of success that he has.
He's got charisma. I mean, it's a really cool thing. So he's a great interview now, I'm sure.
Oh yeah. Saw him in the dugout. He had his sunglasses on his hat. He looked good. He had some chains around his neck. Here's the numbers for him, and you can see there 99th percentile in exit velocity. The bat speed with the Moss family, that must run in their genes. That was a big swing there. He's grabbing at his back.
Chilly night, maybe a little oblique tightness. I don't think he was trying to go the opposite field right there on that swing, was he? I think he was trying to leave the yard.
No. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Moss. And he laces that pitch into left field. Guile on his horse. That one's going to bounce around and left. Guile scores, and Moss slides into second. Another 2-out RBI for IMG. They lead 2-0.
I got to appreciate that. Dean Moss took his chance to unload on one right there, but as soon as he got the 2 strikes, where was his approach? Straight back to the opposite field. So, and you know what? He turned this into a double out of the box.
I liked the comfortable approach. I liked that he didn't try to do too much, that he didn't try to pull the ball, right? That's right. Speaks volumes to the maturity of the kid already.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Josh Hansen. He singled in the first. He rips that ball down the left field line. They're going to send Moss home from second. And sliding in safely is Hansen. So back-to-back 2-out RBIs for IMG. They lead 3-0.
2-out RBIs. Those are game winners. You know, both hitters, Dean Moss and who just doubled? That was
Josh Hansen.
Yeah, Hansen. Both of them made those doubles out of the box. You know, they didn't hot dog it coming out of the box. They made that happen with their first couple steps out of the batter's box. So you got to appreciate how well they're coached from that standpoint.
Here's Dylan Moss. He singled in the first. To check on Hansen at second. So you see Dylan in the right-hand side of the box. Dean bats left-handed. Just one of the differences. Also different personalities.
I'm sure.
The ball's hit out of play into the stands. Got a pretty good crowd tonight, by the way. Everyone's coming out to see a pretty big game.
I would imagine a lot of the teams that are here for the tournament would come over after dinner and catch a little peek of this matchup.
I think so. Or they came to hear us, probably. Maybe.
To hear Danny Wexelman, absolutely.
Man. Craig Cozart.
Who is that guy?
Best analyst in the game. Another good block by Ledoux behind the plate. It's a 1-1 count.
This is a big at-bat right here for Corrales, I would say, you know. IMG's already put up the crooked number, so he needs to get his team off the field right here.
Another pitch inside, and Moss lays off. The scouting report for Dylan when it comes to who he is in the fall. They learned a lot about him behind the plate. His communication was so advanced. They loved the way that he worked with the pitching staff and how he was able to kind of earn their respect and speak up and use his voice, which I would imagine maybe is not easy when your big brother is on the same team and your big brother maybe has a bigger personality. But you're the catcher, you're the field general, and as you said, one of your favorite positions. I think, I don't know, someone maybe by the name of Jacob may speak to that. I don't know about that, but and here he is. He's the cleanup guy for IMG as a sophomore.
Well, he's a Stanford commit, so I think that speaks volumes for sure. But yeah, you got to have a tremendous amount of self-confidence to walk into a program like IMG and say, you know what, I'm the man as a sophomore behind the dish. So.
He works the walk, a 2-out walk. That'll put runners on first and second for IMG. We're just trying to put my coat on here. I got a little chilly up in the press box.
Well, we did close up the windows. When Kurt and I were calling the first two games, we were out in the elements.
Had them open.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Sean Gamble will get a chance to bat with 2 on and 2 down in the top of the second. IMG up 3-0 over Barb. Gamble walked his first at bat.
You know, I could see where Corrales, with his best pitch being a changeup, would probably thrive a little bit more against a right-handed dominated lineup, but that is not IMG. Left-handed heavy, so you know, he needs a little bit of spin, something running away from these hitters maybe to give him a chance to run these guys out of barrel a little bit.
And that pitch is high for a ball.
Pitch count getting elevated for Corrales now, already at 49 pitches, so.
Swing and a miss from Gamble.
Looked like he was able to locate that changeup away from the lefty that time, if that's what that was. I'm pretty sure. You know, Barb needs to get some length out of Corrales here. You know, if he can get them into the middle innings and still be in position to compete, that would be huge because of the setup of this tournament. So
Gamble pops it up just outside the foul line of third base. Vic makes the catch. So 2 runners stranded, but IMG are able to get 3 across. Welcome back to the Hoover Met. Noah Franco back out on the mound. Owen Galt will lead off for Barb. Committed to Louisiana Lafayette. And we were just talking about Franco in the break and pumping some gas in the first, Cozy.
To say the least. So 11 pitches, 72% strikes. So you love to see that efficiency, but sitting in that 92-93 range. So he's up a tick or 2 from his last outing where it was 88-91, maybe grabbed a 2. So he's sitting in that 91-93 range and just really attacking hitters right now with that fastball.
You know what I noticed is how quickly he works as well. We know that the pitch clock implemented at the college level, but also at the big league level, they're talking about already tinkering that clock, but he works really quickly.
He does. Yeah, if you notice, he doesn't even go in front of where his land foot gets to. He's right back to the rubber, and the catcher gets in the ball, and he's ready to go. So his timing is tremendous. He's moving the ball, or moving the game forward at a rapid rate. What a play.
Jackson Lima had to charge it. Hard hit on the ground. But Galt's able to beat it out for a base hit.
Ball got on Lima a little bit, hit him on the heel, but that barehanded snag right into the throw was pretty impressive. Shows his athleticism for sure.
Here's Kason Bellard, also a Louisiana Lafayette commit. There's a couple of those guys on the Barb team.
Yeah, tremendous program down there. One of the toughest places I've ever been to try to win a game if you're a visitor, for sure.
He squares around. That pitch comes in as a strike from Franco.
I knew when we went to the home plate meeting and the last names of the umpires were Babineau and Robichaux and something with an EAUX at the end, we were probably in for a long weekend, right?
I was just talking about that. The guys down in the dugout were giving me trouble about the pronunciations. I said, listen, if I don't get it right, I hope that you look up here and tell me. Bellard squares around again and pulls back.
Some of the greatest fans ever. I mean, they were absolutely ruthless during the game, but you couldn't even leave the stadium without having some andouille sausage and some gumbo in your hands, you know, thanking you for showing up and getting your rear ends beat.
It's pretty special, I'd say.
It is. So the one thing I was interested to see, and I couldn't, of course, check it out, was to see if Franco was moving around in the dugout, because that was a long top of the second inning. And on a chilly night, you know, you don't want a pitcher to sit too long.
The 1-1 pitch. Bellard squares around again, pulls it back. Runner stays put. Good block behind the plate. Dylan Moss back there. Yeah, that's a good point, Cozy, as well, because in the first, Franco retired the side, struck out 2, so it was a quick inning for him. Got back. He led off the next frame, but then had to sit.
I'm a little bit hypersensitive to pitchers sitting in between innings. I remember my sophomore year in college, and I won't say how long ago that was.
How come?
Because it was quite a long, long time ago. This would have been 1993, so well before you were born.
Oh, no,
but
no,
anyway,
I was born.
Anyway,
I was born.
I went
out on this planet
and pitched. It was the opening weekend in Orlando, but it was cold. And when it gets cold in Florida, it's really cold. And we were playing University of Georgia. I struck out the side on 11 pitches. Okay. We scored 5 in the bottom of the first. And as my dad informed me after the game, I sat there for 27 minutes and didn't do anything. And guess what? I never got another out.
I mean, it's true. I mean, it is part of the game and figuring out your game plan for when that does happen and when that does arise. What I really want to ask you, though, is we just saw Bellard square around, and he just worked a walk. When you know a guy, all he wants to do is move the runner over. Do you attack the zone? Do you work around and try to get him to pop it up? What is the goal there? Another guy, again, Cameron Stutz, who gets the bunt down. Franco fields it and makes the play over at first. very athletic play by him. But if you're Franco in the batter before, what's the game plan there?
Well, here's the deal. It's what you're focusing on. Oftentimes, what I figured out was pitchers let their eyes be diverted to the bat head or the barrel rather than the catcher's mitt or the strike zone. And when they stick that bat out in front of you and it's moving around, then your target's moving on you.
Okay.
So you have to kind of visually see through the bat. And I think that maybe he got caught up in that a little bit and just lost release point. So huge opportunity for Barb right here to push something across and answer that 3 spot that IMG put up in the second.
Got runners on second and third. Miles Ledoux, the batter, swinging a miss through strike 1. Ledoux, we were just talking about him behind the plate. He's in the class of 2026 as well, so both young catchers behind the plate for these programs.
Yep. You know, this is where you often see guys like Noah Franco take things to a different level. Oh, what a great job of hitting by Ledoux.
Brings in the run. So good RBI by him. It's 3-1 IMG.
It's a great answer. I mean, any kind of an answer when you put a, give up a 3 spot, that answer back inning is huge. So we used to talk about answer back innings and 0 wars, right? If you scored, you don't let them. That's a 0 war. So,
have you written a book yet for all these acronyms you got going on? I like these.
Have not.
We need to call games more often together.
I like it. So, big situation right here, right?
Yeah.
IMG did all their damage with 2 outs. Let's see if Barb can pull some of that magic and pull themselves within 1 run.
Gabe Guidry, the batter, with 2 away. Big leadoff, by the way. The ball gets away, so Bellard is going to score. Nice job by Barb. They cut the score. It's now 3-2. Bellard walked. Don't forget.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
Baseball knows. That's what we used to always talk about. Baseball knows. There are certain things that the game of baseball will punish you for, right? And those freebies are one of them. So Bellard walked to get on base, and then he scores on a wild pitch. 2 freebies.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Guidry. That ball way outside from Franco. Gabe, by the way, the younger brother of Gavin Guidry, pitcher for LSU.
Sure.
All-American for perfect game. Ball's floated in the air to right field. Going over to make the play is Dean Moss. That'll end the frame. Barb doing a good job of just hacking away a very large ballpark. And we got 2 really, really good programs here playing tonight in our marquee matchup, IMG and Barb. And Barb just chipping away in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They bring the score within a run. Nice job by them to come back and answer the bell.
Kind of manufactured some runs right there. Obviously 2 different styles. IMG scoring their 3 runs on, smoking balls through the gap, hitting the ball the other way, 2 out RBIs, but Barb responds. They're right back in the ball game.
Jackson Lima will lead off for IMG. Flew out in his first at bat. And Corrales ahead 0-2 in the count.
Little answer might have been what Corrales needed to get the mojo going, huh?
The pitch is outside for ball 1. Yeah, it just kind of feels like, you take Barb. I mean, listen, Barb was a state champion last season. They've got Glenn Cicchini as their head coach. That is a fly ball to shallow right field. Nice job watching that all the way in is Bellard. And you can't count them out. I mean, this program, year after year after year. Listen, last year they only lose 1 game, right? And this year they're 5-2. But really, the past couple of seasons, what this program has been able to put together and the winning record and the level of expectations are incredible. And maybe it is. They just needed a little bit of, hey, we got to punch back.
Right. Well, I kind of felt like they almost had a let's wait and see kind of feel to them. And, once IMG put up that 3 spot there, it was like, all right, well, let's just go play the game and see what happens. And here we are, 3-2 ball game.
No, Franco, by the way, who lays the bunt down for the second out. 2 quick outs for Barb. Andre Medunio will bat. Medunio got on and scored in the first. Hit it really hard to short and got on.
Corrales has a totally different demeanor right now.
It looks completely different.
Yeah. I mean, his aggression, his conviction behind his pitches. There's a crispness to what he's doing.
A pitch inside for ball 2. It's a 2-1 count. That one's over his head. He ducks out of the way.
And he's just 6'5", 215, huh?
No big deal. No big deal. He's a big kid. He's a big kid. He works a 2-out walk.
I'm going to have to stop being complimentary of Corrales now. I was just bragging on him because he had a totally different vibe, and then he goes ahead with the 2-out walk.
Him? We're not that powerful. We like
I don't
to
think so.
We are.
No, exactly. I used to think so, but I know better now.
Here's Grant Wilson. He takes the ball inside.
1 pitch away from putting up a big 0 after his team answered back, so just toss the changeup in there and get a little rollover.
Yeah, that changeup is best pitch. As you said, maybe a little more swag on the mound after his team is able to put up 2 and get back in the ball game. Ledoux again behind the plate, so athletic in this game, going out to grab that pitch.
So we do have a little thing developing here with the Corrales at 62 pitches already.
Okay.
So I don't have any idea what the pitch ceiling would be. I would imagine somewhere in the 85 range. But, you know, these coaches are looking at navigating 4 or so games, you know, over the next few days. So they need to get length out of their starters. It's a big deal in game 1.
Couple checks over at first for Medunio. The count is 2 balls and no strikes. Grant Wilson gets a hold of that. Light tower power. Does it stay fair? No. Oh, my gosh.
That ball was as high as it was far, huh?
Oh. Wow.
So that's some big league juice right there.
You got all of that one. Just 1 foul.
So if you're Corrales, you say, you know what? Just a long strike. That's all it was. Still 1 pitch away. But, yeah, that was impressive. The ball was up there for a long time.
You're yanking your head the way of the foul pole, just hoping that you can will it out of play.
The Carlton Fisk. Yeah. I'm aging myself
No,
again.
not at all. Not at all. I think you're right on the mark. Runner on first, 2 away in the top of the 3rd. 2 balls and 1 strike to Wilson. Lays off that pitch outside. It's 3-1.
As well as IMG's approach, I'm impressed with their plate discipline, you know. So, but I guess that, you know, when they're content to let the ball get deep and use the opposite side of the field, then they're going to be more disciplined with strike zone.
Fouled right back. It's a full count. I think that's something that every year we talk about is the plate discipline at this age and level and what they're able to lay off of. We know the strike zone isn't necessarily small. There's a swing and a miss. Corrales gives a little something after
a little
that.
Fist bump, yeah, well deserved. I mean, that's a huge 0.
Glad to have you. It's a chilly night in Hoover, but we got a great matchup here. IMG leads 3-2 over Barb. Barb able to chip back a little bit in the bottom of the 2nd inning. They put up 2, and so here it is in the bottom of the 3rd. Noah Franco back out on the mound. Britt Vick, the batter, and he takes strike 1 from Franco.
What an incredible event, you know. The perfect game puts on here. I mean, how do you get this matchup at this time of year, right?
It always works out, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's incredible.
Vic fouls that pitch off. Franco, by the way, got to know him a lot last summer through the All-American Classic and just getting to know him over the past couple of years. His dad is from Mexico, mom from Guatemala, and he said that at home, the Mexican side takes over a lot when it comes to the food, when it comes to anything culture-wise. Obviously, there's a lot going on there, and he's so proud of his heritage on both sides. He said, but there's no American food in my house. It is a lot of Mexican food that we are eating, and he's very close with his dad's parents. That pitch is fouled off. Franco ahead 1-2.
It's pretty neat. Amazing heritage, but obviously some pretty good athleticism in that family then too. Right?
Absolutely. You'll love this too. So we know he's a left-handed pitcher. There's a swing and a miss. Foul tip, actually. Got a piece of it there. So he's a left-handed pitcher. The only thing he does with his left hand is pitch. He does everything else. He's naturally right-handed. He told me that he picked up some things as a kid with his left hand. Dad saw him do it and said, nope, this is it. You're going to be a lefty kid.
How about that? I tried to force that on all three of my sons, and none of them throw left-handed.
It turned out okay, though.
Yeah, I'll take it.
That pitch is low. It'll even the count to 2-2.
Thank goodness their mother overcame my bad athletic genes, right?
We love Michelle.
I do.
A pitch is inside for a ball, so now the count worked all the way back full. By the way, this is just Vic's first at bat. Barb hasn't batted through their lineup quite yet. And he works the walk, pounds his chest, and heads to first.
You know, you're seeing the toughness of this Barb team, right? They had every reason in the world to roll over when you got Noah Franco on the mound and IMG puts up a 3 spot in a second. But here they are, just grinding out at bats.
Back to the top, Jordan Griffin will bat in the class of 2027, the freshman, a 3-time Select Fest alum for perfect game. He struck out in the first. Squares around, pulls back. The throw from Dylan Moss down. Not in time.
So just part of the coaching right there from IMG. On a bunt situation, you know, bunt through or taken, it's an automatic back pick right there. Just great coaching.
There's a bunt laid down. They let Meduno handle it at third. The ball skips in, so Griffin is safe. He's got speed down the line. And Britt Vick is at second. So Barb again cooking. This time, no outs.
Yep. How about Jordan Griffin, though? Non-competitive first at-bat. He's never seen anything like Noah Franco before, and he sticks his nose in there and gets the bunt down. So that just shows the toughness, the competitiveness, and that's why we're so high on this young athlete.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he's leading off for his team as a freshman,
That's right?
Yeah, that kid's got the heart of a lion. It has been a ton of fun to get to know him over the years as well, and here he is shining for Barb. Here's Diego Corrales, the pitcher for Barb. He squares around and drops it down to third. Nobody's there. Meduno went back to the bag, and so Barb's cooking with the bases loaded.
Tell you what, it's small ball versus, you know, bludgeoning the baseball like IMG wants to, and here we go. This is a massive moment in the ball game, right? And unless I'm mistaken, this will be 3 consecutive left-handed batters as well, correct?
I do believe so.
Leadoff walks do something to you, no matter who you are. Nobody's above it. Nobody's above the cardinal sins of baseball, right?
Vic at third, Griffin at second, Corrales over at first. 3-hole hitter J.D. Alexander will bat. Middle infield at double play depth. It's a courtesy runner over at first for Corrales. A 1 pitch on its way is a ball. That'll even it up. Franco steps off, takes a moment. We mentioned he was working so quickly through the first 2 innings. Now with the bases loaded, no outs for Barb. That ball's going to get away from Moss. Vic comes home, and it is a tie ball game.
Freebies. I was impressed with JD right there that he took that 0-1 slider, because that was a borderline strike. You know, Franco's slider's a really good pitch, and he seemed to see it pretty well. Got a chance to put his team ahead right here, just moving the baseball, even a ground ball in the middle of the field.
Runners on second and third. It's a 2-1 count to Alexander. That one sails inside for ball 3. Alexander struck out in his first at bat. As you said, Cozy, big moment here for Barb to try to take the lead. And that one catches for a strike. Alexander tried to sell it.
Franco reaching back for a little something there. 93 miles an hour, painted on the black. If you're Alexander right here, you got to be set dead red. If he spins you the slider here and lands it, you just tip your cap, right?
Absolutely. 3-2 count. Swing and a miss. Drop third strike. Moss will throw down. The runner will stay put at third. There's one away. So good pitch by Franco to come back and just get the out himself.
No doubt. Did he spin him a slider right there? That's why he wasn't a good hitter. I said I'd be sitting dead red and I would have been out too, right?
Same, my friend. All I did was drop bunts.
Which has been pretty effective for Barb this inning, to say the least. But he threw him a changeup, is what we're saying right there.
Owen Galt swinging at the first pitch he sees and fouls it out of play.
Yeah.
How about Dylan Moss with the block?
Great job. You know, that's smart by Franco, though, right there with the base open. You take a chance on a 3-2 count with an off-speed pitch.
Galt fouls another pitch away. So Franco ahead, 0-2.
So you talk about momentum and swings, and, you know, this has been an emotional game already through just 2 2/3. But, you know, if Galt gets this done right here, then they continue with momentum. But this could be a significant momentum swing back for IMG. If they eliminate another run right here and at least go into the dugout with a tie score.
I think it was pretty clear that Barb had a game plan coming into this game. They obviously recognize No Franco and what he's capable of. Come back to tie the game up. Franco ahead here on Galt, 0-2. The pitch coming. And it sails in high for ball 1.
No, I think it goes back to, you know, Barb knows what they are, and they have a specific game plan. They know they're not going to leave the yard in this ballpark, so put the ball on the ground and make IMG make plays.
Infield is in. That pitch misses for a ball. Outfield playing very shallow as well.
I like the move of putting your infield back in this
now
situation.
They're going back.
Yeah.
That's right. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And there's a strikeout. So Franco reaches back. He gets back-to-back Ks, and now there's 2 away.
Crowded gulped with back-to-back breaking pitches and then elevated the fastball right there and pretty much just ran it through him. Huge strikeout. 92 miles an hour right there. Now he's 1 pitch away from getting his club back in the dugout with the score tied.
2 away. Kaysen Bellard will dig in. It's the first pitch he sees on the ground to short. A run's going to come home. Jordan Griffin comes home. There's no play at first, and Barb takes the lead 4-3. A 2-out RBI for Kaysen Bellard.
Jumped his first pitch right there and squared it up pretty good. Tough play for Lima to the backhand side.
How about the work both these teams, Cozy, have done with 2 outs?
It's pretty amazing, isn't it? They're grinding out at bats, and, you know, they value moving the baseball.
Cameron Stutes, the batter. The throw from Moss down. They go back home. The play at the plate is out. What a throw by the infield to go home and get that runner to end the frame. Move ahead, top 4. And that is a pitch ripped out of play.
2 differing styles tonight, I tell you what. But Barb takes the lead with the small ball.
A walk, a couple of bunts, and they lead 4-3. This is Gunnar Guile, the leadoff man for IMG. Takes another strike. Diego Corrales ahead 0-2.
So you were telling me before the game that Corrales has only lost 1 career game in high school.
That's what Glenn Chikini told me.
So, I mean, you're seeing that right now. He's a different guy after giving up that 3 spot, and his club responded. Nice glove work by Ledoux right there on that called strike 3.
1 away, that brings up Dean Moss. And he takes the strike. He doubled his last at bat and scored. It's a fly ball to shallow center. Jordan Griffin coming in. Second baseman's going to make the play, Jadarian Washington. 2 quick outs for Barb.
Corrales came in with the fastball right there. Tied him up a little bit. Doesn't matter that it was 82 miles an hour, right? It was well located.
No, and I think, again, that was really the point of emphasis when I talked to Glenn earlier, was they know what Diego Corrales brings. He's a softer throwing left-handed pitcher who relies on that changeup in his off-speed pitches, as Josh Hansen takes the ball outside, to have his way with batters. It is not going to overpower you. It is crafty. That's exactly what it is, and you're seeing it in full force right now. Maybe even more so in innings 2 through 4 now. Not maybe so much in the first, got his footing in the first, but this is potentially who he has been the past few seasons for Barb.
But not right now. Not right now. He doesn't need to get hot right now.
That pitch inside for a ball. It's 3-0.
I'm beginning to think he's got a, microphone in his ears or something, because every time we start to brag on him, he does have a tendency to start dancing around the strike zone. But here he is 1 pitch away from being out of the inning.
It's the last out. I think that's been a bit elusive. That is a smacked pitch through the left side into left field. A 2-out single for Josh Hansen to extend the inning for IMG.
That is as clean a swing as you're going to see. He's been very impressive with his passes to the ball tonight. strength at impact, but clean, direct path. It's a hitter.
Two away. Here's Dylan Moss. He's been on base twice today already, singled in the first, walked in the second. And that strike catches inside. It's 1-1. It's in the air to center field. Jordan Griffin is there to make the catch, and this ball game remains 4-3 Barb. We head to the bottom of the fourth inning. Both of these teams so accomplished last season. IMG, the national champions. Barb, the 2023 state champions. IMG this season, Cozy 2-0. Barb's already 5-2. They've played 7 regular season games. While IMG had a ton of preseason, they've only played 2 so far in the year.
Interesting. I didn't know that Barb was already at 7 games on the year, so got a few under their belt. But I think both you and I are impressed with Diego Corrales and how he's totally turned into a different guy.
Completely settled in.
Yeah. True competitor. So let's see how Noah Franco bounces back right here after that last inning. It was tough. He scattered the zone a little bit. The wild pitch got away. So let's see how he bounces back.
Here's Miles Ledoux. He leads things off for Barb. He takes strike 1 from Franco. Pitch is high. It'll even the count up. You know, before last inning, Franco hadn't given up a hit.
And, you know, it's interesting. You're looking at 2 left-handers with totally different frames and totally different arsenals. You know, Franco's breaking ball is about what Corrales' best fastball is.
Velocity-wise.
Yeah, velocity-wise. And there's a 10-mile-an-hour gap between the average fastball of Franco and Corrales. But you look up on the board, and who has the lead? Right now, Corrales' club does.
Foul tip into the glove of Moss for the strikeout. 1 away for IMG.
Really nice slider right there. Running that under the hands of Stutes.
Here's Gabe Guidry. Stutes, excuse me. Thank you. This is Miles Ledoux.
It is.
A pitch catches for strike 1. It's 3 balls and 1 strike to Ledoux.
Not a lack of energy coming out of the Barb dugout right now.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
Oh, no. Plenty of enthusiasm.
It's chopped on the ground, but out of play.
Franco's still holding his velocity fairly good. He's over 60 pitches in, and every fastball this at-bat's been at least 90 up to 92.
That pitch misses. Ledoux able to work the 1-out walk. This is Gabe Guidry. Got ahead of myself. Now it is Gabe Guidry. Flew out his first at bat. A one-run lead doesn't feel safe ever against IMG.
Not a bit.
Ball's outside, no throw down from Moss.
Barb has a little activity in the bullpen. Some guys bouncing around, not necessarily on the mound throwing with any intent, but some movement. Franco's strike percentage hovering around 60% right now.
And then there's the throw down from Moss. Does it so quick, so athletic back there.
Plenty of carry, and the thing is the accuracy. Every time he's done that, it's been right on the bag.
2-1 count to Guidry. And he takes another ball. It's 3-1.
First inning for Franco was 11 pitches, and ever since then, it's been pretty laborious for him out there. Hasn't been easy at bats. Barb has dug in, and they're scrapping.
We talked about how in the top of the second, IMG put up 3. It was a pretty long frame. As Guidry works the walk, that'll put 2 on for Barb. So he sat for a while, then came back, led off the inning, and Barb was able to put up 2, get within 1, and then they put up 2 in the third. That's how they took the lead. And now they're going to have a chat on the mound.
It was kind of that deadly combination of a long inning and a short inning, and what I mean by that was that, you know, Franco sat in the dugout for quite a while as his club put up 3 runs, and then when Barb answered with 2, his club went 3 up, 3 down, I believe it was, and he was back out there very quickly. So IMG makes a move to the bullpen.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, as Noah Franco's outing is over, and we'll get to the arm on the mound in a second, I wanted to ask you about where you see Noah Franco. We know that he is a TCU commit. That just happened recently. Their program is, I think, is going to be in the hunt for a while and competitive for a really long time what they're building there. But I don't know if he's going to get to campus. I'd be shocked if he did. When it comes to the draft, I've heard different perspectives. What's your perspective?
As far as whether he gets to school or where?
What position is Noah Franco going to be drafted as?
I mean, I think that it's probably going to depend on the organization, but I hear that there's a lot of people that like him as a stick, but how do you deny the arm talent? So, you know, we're looking at the graphic that's coming up right now, and the history of you know, lefties, but it's going to be an interesting dynamic to watch, and obviously there's a ton of scrutiny as far as his game is concerned, but the beautiful thing is that, you know, he has options, right? So if the number isn't where he wants it to be, there is nothing in the world wrong with going to TCU, because we know what their history is from a development standpoint.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And there's a history, as you mentioned, of lefties coming out of IMG, as we just saw. And I want to pull this back up before we get to the starting pitcher. We'll introduce you in a second. But here is the string of lefties. Okay, Mason Albright back in 2021, Jackson Ferris in 22, Cam Johnson just last year in 23, and then you see Noah Franco. Mason Albright drafted by the Angels. Jackson Ferris, who just got traded away, and Cam Johnson, who's at LSU. So these guys all really successful already in their own right. Noah Franco going to carve the path to continue that trend for their lefties.
Pretty good history right there, right? That's pretty special. Cam Johnson, a mountain of a young man, huh?
Excited
6'5",
about
250,
him.
yeah.
He got to campus. Everyone was surprised about that.
Yeah.
Jay Johnson was surprised he got to campus. What a win for them. And IMG going to try to get the win tonight. It's going to be tough, though. They're trailing by 1. They bring out a new arm, Hosokawa, out of Tokyo. The right-handed pitcher will take the mound for IMG and try to get out of this jam.
Hosokawa, you did that very well, by the way, Dan.
Thank you. Do my best here. Britt Vick will bat. 2 on, 1 down. In the bottom of the 4th.
Must be having some problems with the signs. Moss calls a timeout to get him straight. Obviously, not a place you can get crossed up right here.
Okay, 5'8", 176. He's in the 2025 class. Again, from Tokyo, Japan. Uncommitted. I mean, there was so much excitement this past week. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who signed with the Dodgers in the offseason after doing basically everything you can in the NPB in Japan, and how much excitement there is from our game at the global level. I could imagine that it's pretty exciting as well for Okai.
Really is. I mean, our game, it's an international game now, even from a recruiting standpoint, right?
Swing and a miss from Vick. Hosokawa ahead, 0-2. Oh, good pitch there. That one missing, though. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Looks like he and Moss are having a hard time getting on the same page. You saw Moss kind of stand up there like he was expecting a fastball and then had to react last second to catch the curveball. Or the splitty. I'm not sure if it's a split finger.
It's coming up as a curveball, that last pitch. That one's fouled away. It went slider, changeup, curveball.
An 86-mile-an-hour fastball with a little bit of ride on it.
That's a pretty good arsenal, huh?
I'd say. So you see Moss had to go outside the body to get the signals rather than being between the legs. Obviously, the shadows from the lights he's having problems with.
2-2 count to Vick. The pitch is outside, so now it's a full count. Vick walked in his first at bat, made it a tie ball game when he came home to score. Vick fouls it off out of play, stays alive.
They grind out at bats 1 through 9.
There's a swing and a miss for the strikeout. There's 2 away for IMG. Back to the top of the order for Barb. Jordan Griffin will bat. Griffin laid down the bunt in the 3rd, came home to score. He takes strike 1 from Hosokawa.
I'm not sure if that's the curveball, split finger, whatever, but it's got a lot of vertical break to it. So I mean, it's a pretty tough pitch. Looked like what he got the strikeout on previously with Vick.
Griffin hits it hard on the ground to second. It's scooped up by Gamble, and the out is made. Those runners are stranded. So And IMG was up 3-0 in the second inning, and then Barb has stormed back. They put up 2 runs in the second and the third, and this is how they lead 4-3. And Corrales looks like a different pitcher.
He really does. You can tell he's a bulldog, and he's just taking things to a different level from an aggression standpoint once his club got on the board. He is at 82 pitches, so I'm interested to see, where he might take this.
Middle infield on the lip of the grass for Sean Gamble, who leads off for IMG. Gamble smacks that pitch into center field. It's going to get past Jordan Griffin's head right at the track, and Gamble's going to hold up at second with a leadoff double.
Just a tremendous piece of hitting right there, staying inside that ball. Pure backspin into the oppo gap.
He's been on base twice today. That's going to bring up Jackson La Lima. He's flown out twice in the game so far. IMG trails by a run. And La Lima can't check his swing. It's a called strike.
No reason for La Lima to be early right here if he's trying to move the runner over. So
it's turned inside out, foul and out of play. Corrales ahead 0-2. Noah Franco is on deck.
really important for La Lima to have a quality at bat right here. It's got to find some way to move the runner.
Well, La Lima gets a hold of that one. It's a drive to left, all the way back and gone.
I think that moves the runner. What do you think, Danny?
That one moves the runner, and it brings two home to give IMG the lead.
So hard to express how much juice that took to hit the ball out tonight in this ballpark, because the air is heavy, the dimensions are massive, so that was an absolute blast. And I know La Lima feels great because he had a couple tough plays out at shortstop, and he put his club back in front, 5-4 now.
You know, he got the ball in the air his first two at bats. That one, though, carries all the way to left field. Exactly to your point, the air tonight, it's cold, everyone's hands are cold, and he's able to put his team back on top. That'll bring up Noah Franco, who digs in. No outs in the top of the fifth. He hits it on the ground past a diving Washington, and he'll hold up at first base. So Franco stays in the lineup despite coming out of the game on the mound. They like his bat. Obviously, one of the top two-way guys in the country in his class. That's going to bring up Andre Modugno.
Going to have a visit from Coach right here. We saw some activity in the bullpen, but it didn't look like I ever saw anybody really actively getting ready. So going to see what Coach has right here.
Glenn Cicchini, the man from Louisiana. Well, he's from California, actually, I believe, but he's got that beanie on his head tonight. He's the smart one out here. It's cold. It's cold.
I like the beanie with the, what would you consider that on top? Is it a pom-pom on top? How do we describe that?
I think so. It is a pom-pom.
Okay.
Yeah. And he is going to make a pitching change. That's going to be it for Diego Corrales. You got to give him so much credit. Huge deal for them. Juan Soto goes to San Diego, and James Wood and C.J. Abrams and a whole slew of guys. Basically, the future outfield for Washington is there. And we just saw what Jackson La Lima was able to do with that home run. IMG with the power. It is incredible to see.
Washington's accumulating some nice young players right now, aren't they?
They're going to be dangerous. 2025, I'm telling you right now, wild card for the Washington Nationals. There's no doubt about that. It's Andre Madunio, by the way. Dylan Cruz is there. Robert Hassel is there. The Juan Soto trade changed, I think, the future for the Washington Nationals.
Sure.
So that was Grayson Guillory on the mound for Barb. Comes in and he exits after a batter. So we're going to have another change on the mound. That wasn't it for Glenn Cicchini and Barb. Oh, we forgot Brady House. How dare we forget Brady House? Oh my gosh, Brady House. On the Hoover Met. IMG just took the lead in the top of the 5th inning. Jackson La Lima with a 2-run shot to make it 5-4 IMG. This looks like JD Alexander, who is going to take over on the mound. He was the designated hitter in the lineup. Now he's going to get a chance to come out in the class of 2026 and try to limit the damage to get Barb back in the dugout.
Some nice at-bats against Franco tonight, left on left.
Grant Wilson will bat. 2 on and no outs. Top 5. That one sails too far inside. It's going to tag Wilson, and that'll load him up. Back to the top of the order for IMG. Gunnar Guile will dig in with bases loaded.
Feel great on a night like tonight.
I felt it up here. I need some gloves. All right, so infield is in. IMG with a 1-run lead. And Guile digs in. Hits the first pitch he sees. It's bounced to short. It's going to get past the shortstop. So Franco will score. They get the ball back in. IMG leads 6-4.
Ball was hit really, really hard. Short hop to the glove side for Galt. So IMG playing station to station right now.
Infield's going to stay in. Dean Moss will get a chance to bat again. He takes a ball from Alexander. It's foul and out of play. It's a 1-1 count. Dean doubled in the second. He's had 2 flyouts in his 3 at-bats so far. Again, this is a guy we've seen for a really long time and just watched the development, watched him grow as a person, as a player. There was some batting practice that we saw from him the other day that was incredible. I love watching good BP. This is a chance for him to really break the game open. And the ball into the dugout. Protects the plate with that 1-2 count.
One of the few guys that I've ever seen that I like the super high hand set where he starts the hands, you know, well above the shoulder, but he gets right back into a good slot before he attacks the pitch.
Another pitch fouled off. Looks like it fouled off him. That doesn't feel good either tonight. The high hands, too. I mean, the rhythm that he has, that timing at the plate is interesting. You can watch it here. Kind of wiggles the bat a couple of times, and then he pulls his hands back.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like a golfer, you know, when he kind of waggles the club behind the ball before he drives, and that ball is launched.
Dean Moss got all of that one into the outfield. Jordan Griffin! Did not make the catch. Did he make the catch?
I felt like he secured that and lost it as he was taking the ball out. So it might be a 2 RBI sac fly for Dean Moss. I didn't see the umpires make an official call, but there's still one out on the board.
I did not see the call, and you see Moss over at second base. I don't even know where Jordan Griffin came from to come. Look where he started and look where he ended. That looks like a catch to me.
Yeah, he definitely caught the ball.
That looked like a catch to me. So
lost it on the transfer.
Maybe the transfer is where the umpires saw it come out, but 2 more runs come home. He cleared the bases with that one. It'll bring up Josh Hansen.
So I guess that was the first out of the inning. Is that correct, Danny?
That was the first. That was the first out.
Yep. So that was a 2 RBI sac fly for Dean Moss. I'm not sure I've actually ever seen that before.
That one softly hit back to the pitcher. Alexander goes to first on the play, 2 away.
A nice pick by the first baseman right there. That was not a routine play by Gabe Guidry.
All right, so Jordan Griffin did make the catch. Is that what we're saying here?
I think so. 2 outs in the inning now.
I'm still stuck on that right now.
Yes, so that was just an amazing play, by the way. I mean, you talked about how far Griffin had to go to catch that ball. He was playing shallow-ish dead center field, and he caught that ball by the 375 sign. You can still see the skid marks on the warning track. So secured the catch and then lost the ball on the transfer. So the runner from second was able to score as he tagged up.
Ball trickles away from Ledoux.
All of a sudden, it's an 8-4 ball game, by the way, Danny.
It is 8-4. Giles over at third. And this is what happens with IMG and why a 1-run lead isn't safe. Dylan Moss, the batter, by the way. That one sails over his head for a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Come on, let's go. Good, JD. Right here, babe.
And tags him in the back. It's a 2-out hit by pitch. He's going to wear it and take his bag. That'll put runners on the corners. And 2 away.
J.D. Alexander, interesting on the mound, is, you know, the fastball ranging literally from 83 to 88 miles an hour. So there's some life in that arm. Needs to get his team off the field right here. 1 pitch away. I was going to leave a mark.
It's not going to feel good. There's no doubt about it. Dean Moss is fouling pitches off himself. Dylan Moss is getting hit by a pitch. There's going to be some icing going on for the Moss brothers. They could be the Mash brothers, by the way, one day. Do you think?
Yeah, no doubt. Bring back the forearm shivers like the Bash brothers back in the day. McGuire and Canseco.
I like it. I like it. Here's Sean Gamble. He'll dig in, 2 on, 2 away. And he takes a strike that catches inside. Good pitch by Alexander. He's ahead in the count. The ball is smacked. It's fading into left field and out of play.
Both of Alexander's secondary offerings, the changeup and the slider, are solid offering them, solid pitches.
Early in the season, too, you're still trying to figure out where do guys fit in, how do they play, what do they have. It's still early. IMG acknowledged that as well. It's still early to really know exactly what you have for the season.
Back foot slider may be an option right here.
Oh, and inside, Ledoux again. Keeps the ball in front. Runner takes second.
Is that another dirt ball read by Moss?
I think it might be. I think that's a pinch runner out there for him. I think he came in.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
after
courtesy
getting
runner.
hit. Yeah. Otherwise, yes, it would be. 3-2 pitch on its way. And that one's high for ball 4. It'll load him up. And this isn't the guy you want to see with the bases loaded. Jackson Lalima, who had a 2-run shot earlier in the 5th to give IMG their lead back. And Glenn Cicchini is going to come out and have a chat. He wants to stop the bleeding right now.
Alexander's kind of gotten extended a little bit here. He looks like he's probably one of his main relievers, and may not want to spend any more pitches tonight since this game's getting away from him a little bit.
Call down to the bullpen. You're right, they are going to bring in a new arm. Now listen, they were trailing 3-0 in the 2nd inning. So it isn't an amount that is impossible to overcome for this team, right? Continue to play their brand of baseball here, but IMG has broken it open, and they've done it in such a powerful way. Yep. Talk about the juxtaposition here of these two teams and how they've continued to compete in this game.
Yeah, I mean, IMG, again, with their relentless approach of hitting the ball the other way, right? And staying inside the baseball.
But Lalima, the batter, and he's facing a new arm on the mound.
Looks like Jarius Miller on the bump.
Jarius Miller, the lefty in the class of 2025. And he fires in strike 1. Jairus. Sounds like Jairus Miller.
Is it Jairus?
Looks like Jairus.
Okay. I like Jairus. That's interesting. He's got a quick arm.
That's chopped right back to Jairus. He goes to first for the out. Those runners left stranded. IMG taking a giant lead, though they To the bottom of the 5th, Diego Corrales will lead off for Barb, and he takes the strike from Hosokawa.
We just put in a rush order for extra rosin bags.
No doubt.
Because the way he's going through that, we're going to need some for tomorrow.
And it's not like it's hot outside.
No.
That's for sure a routine of his. It has to be. And something that he works into what he's doing on the mound before.
Well, with his pitch selection and shapes, I mean, he needs a lot of feel for the way he manipulates the baseball. So I'm sure that he wants to have that extra tacky feel as he gets the 3-pitch punch out right there, correct?
Yeah, I mean, he looks really good on the mound. You can see there's a ton to like and how much potential he has.
Big curveball right there with a ton of vertical break.
How about 3 straight curveballs for a little dessert tonight? It's not the kind I'd like.
No, I hear you.
JD Alexander will step in. So we're going to miss through strike 1. 3 curveballs, all sitting at 82. Pretty deceptive.
I mean, and that's a power, breaking ball. When you talk about velocity on a pitch that does truly move vertically, that's a lot of velocity, and I'm sure it has some high-level spin.
Ball fouled away. Hosokawa ahead, 1-2 in the count. Again, he's in the class of 2025, uncommitted. He fires in, excuse me, for another strikeout.
And right back to the rosin bag.
Takes your breath away.
Pitching with some urgency.
Back-to-back strikeouts brings up Owen Galt.
That's got some depth on that breaking ball.
Good take, Owen, baby. Come on, work, work.
Galt struck out his last at bat. So let me ask you this. I'm checking out where Galt's standing in the box. It looks like his back foot is almost touching the back of the box. But when you're working with a guy who's throwing off speed like that, is it not more incentivized to stand up closer in the box to catch it before the break?
No, I think that's valid. Because if the pitch doesn't get to you in the air, then you know it's not going to be a strike if you move up in the box. So
that ball was hit on the ground. Meduno fielded through to first, but the pick wasn't able to be made. And so Galt's safe at first. Tough play over at first base. That's going to bring up Kaysen Bellard. Bellard had the go-ahead RBI earlier in the game. Drives that ball to center field. The catch is made by Hansen. And that'll end the 5th inning. We go to the 6th. IMG leads by 4. It is incredible to kind of just see the alum that they have. So winning the game at this point against Barb High School, the Buccaneers, who they had the lead in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and that 5-spot IMG put up right now is where we sit.
You know what? Let's give a shout out to the grounds crew here, though, because based on that video, the surface this year looks amazing, and it's incredible that they
look really good.
Yeah, and Hoover, I guess it's Hoover High School that uses this as their home football field, so they got it looking like this even though they have football games on it. So great job by the grounds crew here at the Hoover Met.
Noah Franco, the batter. Jairus Miller back out on the mound for Barb, and that skips right past Miller, scorched by Franco, and a leadoff single for him. going to bring up Andre Modugno.
With the exception of Lalima's absolute bomb to the pull side, wouldn't you say out of IMG's dozen base hits, at least 8 or 9 of them are to the opposite field?
Absolutely. That's a common theme that they thread, is that ball sails inside year after year. When I watch this team and I watch these guys and their ability to not only let the pitch travel deep within the zone and have the confidence then to recognize what it is and then put it in play for a base hit. And it's not on the ground, it's not weak, it is often really well hit, barreled up.
It's a professional approach.
Duño slices that ball to right field. It's trailing foul, though, and out of play.
Just puts so much pressure on you as a pitcher to know that their ability and willingness to hit the ball the other way forces you to have to pitch in, as you're going to see right here. They're going to try to bust inside.
Franco takes off, but the pitch is spoiled. It speaks to so many things, right? When you think about the development at this level, you're thinking about pitch recognition, a mature approach, and the confidence at the plate to let the ball travel deep within the zone and then barrel it up. I mean, there's so many impressive things there that I think that you still see college athletes working on. That is a developed skill.
Absolutely. Well, and the physicality to do it too, right? To have the physical strength to be able to drive the ball to the other field.
And how often do we hear a guy, you ask him, hey, what are you working on this year? Going opposite, driving the ball the opposite way. All the time. A 2-2 pitch is driven out of play this time to left field. So Modugno all over Miller. He's making Franco work out. getting his steps in.
He's getting his recovery run done tonight from his outing on the mound.
Two count. That pitch just outside.
Heck of a take and heck of a pitch. I'm sure Miller would like to have that one.
So now the count is full. Franco take off. That one is fouled off again.
And that previous pitch was just another example of Ledoux behind the plate. Clean actions, presenting that ball as well as he could have for the umpire to make a decision.
Franco takes off. This ball gets past Ledoux this time, and Modugno will take first.
Base was occupied, so Modugno should be out.
He is, you are correct.
But
with less than 2 outs.
That's correct. So Franco takes second on, looked like he was off on the pitch.
Yeah, taking off on the pitch. And Modugno kind of, slapping his hands together, not what he wanted in that at-bat. That'll bring up Grant Wilson. Wilson was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. A little bit of a shift on.
From Miller's standpoint, I don't know that we've seen a secondary pitch yet. I think it's been nothing but fastballs, low 80s fastballs that he's moving, to both sides of the plate.
And there's another called for a strike. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Chopped to shortstop. Charging, coming in to make the play. Getting out is Galt.
Good job by Galt right there. Yeah. Picked his hop right there, came and got it. Big out right here. See if Barb can get in the dugout with still one swing of the bat away from tying this ball game.
They're back to the top of the order for IMG. Gunnar Guile step in. Franco taking a big lead at third. There's ball one. 2 RBI for Guile tonight. He's been busy. Lays off a pitch high. It's 2-0.
Go 2-1, believe right here, kid. One pitch at a time. You can't call.
There's a strike from Miller.
There's some deception to that fastball for Miller. Seems to get on the hitters.
We'll do with the block. Franco stays put. It's 3 balls and 1 strike to Guile. There's another strike, so it works all the way back, and now the count's full.
That block by Ledoux on the previous pitch on a fastball in dirt, that's really difficult. If you've never done it, it's hard to appreciate how difficult that is. You don't anticipate a bounced fastball. Breaking ball changeup, sure.
So Guile works the walk. That'll put runners on the corners for Dean Moss. Yeah, again, really to that point, both teams sporting catchers, younger catchers. They're both in the class of 2026 behind the plate who've done a really nice job.
Very much so. Got to be strong up the middle, and both of these teams are obviously that.
2 on, 2 down. And the pitch to Moss, fired in for strike 1. IMG leads by 4. Top 6. Pitch outside will even it up.
Moss hit probably the farthest ball we've seen hit all day at the stadium, and it resulted in an out. But he did get 2 RBIs, remember?
Yeah, brought in 2. Jordan Griffin ran a mile to make the catch. Incredible play by him. Just the raw power that you see from these guys. Again, this ballpark is huge. It's 402 to dead center. It's a huge ballpark.
And plays bigger than that. Yeah, it's not like it's, you know, Mile High Stadium where the dimensions are huge and the air is light. This is a tough place to leave.
That Moss smashed that. Yeah, another RBI for him. 2-out RBI. The specialty for IMG tonight. That'll make it 9-4.
It's a big run right there. No longer one swing of the bat away. Not that necessarily Barb has anybody that's going to leave the park tonight, but the bat speed of Dean Moss on display.
Runners on first and third, 2 away. Josh Hansen will bat. And he takes a ball from Miller.
Pick it up 2-1.
pitch fouled away. It's 2-1.
So Miller's the fourth arm we've seen tonight from Barb. So handling their bullpen lightly, not letting anybody get too extended.
Mason Weathers, by the way, behind the plate for our umpiring crew, giving Ledoux a moment there. It looks like it might have ricocheted off of him. Hansen ropes that ball into center. Jordan Griffin there to make the catch and leave those two runners stranded. But an insurance run in the top of the sixth to relieve Noah Franco on the mound. And he's really been able to shut down Barb's bats. His off-speed pitches have impressed. And it's a healthy diet of those off-speed pitches. But they're not really messing around. There's nothing really soft or easy about them.
Not a bit. It's abrupt. That's the way I like to describe it. It's not a gradual break. It's abrupt at the plate. He knows what he's trying to do with it, and he's consistent in the strike zone. So going to be tough for Barb to scratch much against this guy right now.
Hayden Heath will get a chance to bat. And can't check his swing, called for strike two.
Think about the differences in look. You know, we go from Franco to Hosokawa, just a totally different look.
Dylan Moss knew it was strike three.
And we're going to the rosin some more.
One away for IMG. Wow.
That's a devastating pitch.
I like how he just turns away and knows that it's a strike. That is some uber confidence.
Yep. You know it's done as soon as it leaves your hand, huh?
Miles Ledoux with a soft pop-up, and the shortstop coming in to make the catcher, going back. Galt with a little leap to make that. 2 quick outs for IMG. Hey, how about a little leap on the leap year? Happy Leap Day to everybody, by the way. Our extra day this year, February 29th.
Yeah. Recruiting opens up for college coaches tomorrow.
Big day. March 1st.
They might want to come back and see Hosokawa later in the tournament, right?
I have a good feeling that they're checking him out. I see some scouts out there right now. I bet they're listening.
Getting reports, yeah.
They're for sure listening to us on PG TV.
No doubt.
That one skips in. Might have gotten Moss on the hand.
By the way,
yeah,
just so we can say how good he's been, Hosokawa 76% strikes so far out of his 26 pitches thrown, 4 punch outs and no walks, and a 0 in that column that has an H above it, if we want to leave that alone.
Sounds like a pretty good job, I'd say. Gabe Guidry, the batter, fouls this pitch off. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Home plate umpire says he didn't check his swing, so there's a called strikeout. So Hosokawa is mowing him down on the leap day. The purple glove, the rosin, the chalk, he's got it all right now. And IMG continues to dominate in the latter half of this game. It's 9-4. We go to the 7th. Bringing it back from break.
That's my first one. Dan, you taught me.
You crushed that.
You teach an old dog new tricks every once in a while.
I was very impressed by that. Dylan Moss right back to the pitcher for the first out. 1 quick out for Barb.
nice play. Quick first step out there for Ballard. He actually made that look a lot easier than that play really was.
Yeah, no doubt. He ends up making the play. Hayden Heath on the mound for Barb. Fires in a ball to Sean Gamble. Oh, Gamble. What did that ball do to you, my guy?
He didn't leave anything in the box right there, did he?
No.
I'm telling you, if you don't have a left-hander with some plus spin, this is a difficult lineup to even imagine being able to navigate.
I mean, Barb did that for the first 4+ innings. They did a really nice job of limiting the damage, had the lead in the third. They were up 4-3. I think when you play a team like IMG, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's got to be near close to perfect. It's got to be your best. It's got to be mistake-free. And you certainly can't issue as many walks as Barb had.
Yep. Yeah, when Corrales started putting them on base free and created the inning, that's when it got dicey for him. So, no matter what you say, it's not comfortable for a left-hander to throw change-ups to a left-handed batter just because it's so uncommon. So it would have served Diego Corrales a lot better, you know, to be able to feature a breaking ball more often than I think he did tonight.
There we go.
Gamble works the leadoff walk. That brings up Jackson LaLima. Big lead from Gamble over at first.
And we got one out. Remember, we had the quick comebacker on the first pitch of the inning, so from Dylan Moss.
Yeah. That's on the ground. It's going to get past the third baseman. Gamble goes first to third, shows off the wheels he's got.
You have to say, I mean, beyond the offensive approach, it's obvious that IMG puts a lot of time in to what they're doing on the bases because they have taken every extra base tonight and they've created so many doubles out of the box. So credit to them. You know, they don't take things for granted.
And I think they know that. They know that especially against this Barb team that can get scrappy, that can lay down the bunt. They can also use their feet as a weapon.
Sure. Does Noah Franco hit every inning, or is that just me?
Almost. Almost every
Seems
inning.
that way right now.
Yeah. He takes a strike on the outside part of the plate. I've got every inning but the fourth. Pitch fouled off into the dugout. Heath ahead, 0-2. It's going to miss. Strike 3, so Heath gets the strikeout. 2 away for Barb.
Nice job with the elevated 83-mile-an-hour fastball right here. Up under the hands.
2 away. Andre Modugno will step in. Fouls off the first pitch he sees into the stands. By the way, when the ball lands here on those cold metal seats, it's pretty loud.
It's very loud. That's what I was just going to say. You know, I mean, the cool thing about this stadium is it does keep the sound in, the pop of the catcher's mitt, the echo of the contact off the bat just adds to the environment here. How many of these guys that have been on the field today will be playing on this field someday in the SEC tournament?
No doubt. That ball sails inside. I was just thinking about that. So I wasn't here last year. I was down in Houston for Perfect Games event. That's going on right now. But the year before I was at the SEC tournament, I was covering that for ESPN. And oh my gosh, what an experience to be here for that, to see those fan bases here, the feistiness. We had crazy rain delays. It was 2022 2.
I remember that.
The rain delays were long into
Extensive,
the night. Yeah. But the fans, man, they stayed. That ball sails over left field. It's out of here. Andre Meduno goes yard for a 2-run shot. The fans who are here in the stands like what they see. IMG extends their lead even more, 12-4.
That was on the line. I mean, that ball, I wasn't sure it was high enough to get out of here. So, talk about well over 100+ mile-an-hour exit velocity for that ball to get out on that launch angle right there. Strong young man. And one of the uncommitted players on IMG's team in the lineup tonight.
That's right. Was committed to Duke previously, uncommitted, reopened his search. That's got to feel good coming off the bat for him.
Well, that pushes the lead to 8. So, tall task for Barb going into the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, this is an opportunity for them to finish this game. Hayden Heath saving some arms, I am sure, because they got a road ahead the next couple of days here in Hoover.
We're hoping Mother Nature will behave, right?
This is Alkaikea, by the way, getting his first at bat of the game. Chops that ball to second base on the ground, and that'll be the 3rd out of the frame. We head to the bottom of the 7th in Hoover. Andre Meduno with a 2-run home run. G takes a commanding lead, 12-4 over Barb, as we get set for the bottom of the 7th inning. Okai Hosokawa back out on the mound, purple glove, rosin bag in hand. Colin Harris will bat for Barb. His first at bat of the night.
Hosokawa has pretty much eliminated any hope that Barb had to get back into this ball game.
It's been really impressive.
Very much so.
He's in the class of 2025 again out of Tokyo, Japan, uncommitted. 1-2 pitch fouled off out of play.
Almost 80% strikes Hosokawa's moving towards right now. He's just attacking. And it's not just a fastball. You know? I mean, it's a complete repertoire.
Swing and a miss for the strikeout. 1 away for IMG. Back to the top, Jordan Griffin will bat. He takes ball 1. So I kind of said it earlier, Cozy, but the spring debut of Yoshinobu Yamamoto for the Dodgers, I mean, he was disgusting. His splitter was outrageous. And I'm not saying that these guys are profiling right next to each other, but I do think that there is a point of pride when it comes to Japanese pitching and their off-speed in particular, but also the mechanics that they display on the mound. And I can see those here with Hosokawa.
Very much so. I mean, they always have that unique delivery. And, you know, he obviously has a dominant secondary pitch that we've seen tonight. 6 punch-outs of his 9 outs that he's recorded.
Is in the top end in almost every category, whether it's with his hands, with his bat, with his feet. Jordan Griffin has been such a joy to watch, and I just love the fact that he's leading off for his high school team. And he smacks that ball, drops it into right field.
The first hit of the night off of Hosokawa, so There you go. Jordan Griffin backing up what we already know about him. And isn't that the beauty of what goes on at Perfect Game? To be able to get those types of numbers, that type of analytics on a kid at this age, and be able to get that out to the whole baseball world, whether it be college coaches or whether it be professional scouts.
Griffin and LSU commit. Diego Corrales will bat. He takes a strike from Hosokawa. Yeah, I think it's just special to watch the development and see a kid go from, I mean, small. Like Jordan Griffin is on the smaller end. That pitch is hit in the air but out of play, and he knows it, right? I mean, I think about Drew Burst right now at Georgia Tech, who hit 4 home runs in one game and leads the nation. By the way, I think someone you might be familiar with, Caleb Cozart, also UNC Greensboro, who is top of the top in the NCAA when it comes to home runs. I mean, but Drew Burst sitting on the shorter stature, and it matters none. It matters none, right? Jose Altuve,
Nope.
I think, has really set a great example.
Well,
at
and
the
probably
big
the only
level.
reason that he's in college right now is because of the fact that he is considered undersized. But, you know, a hitter's a hitter.
Yeah.
So what difference does it make when you can do the things he can do with the bat? And IMG's now 1 out away from putting themselves into the winner's bracket and securing the nightcap.
La Lima makes a nice play on that soft pop-up. Here's Dane Dixon. He takes strike 1. Dixon in the 2025 class, uncommitted. It's a high fly ball sailing into foul territory. Hits the fence. Unable to make the play. Good effort, though, by Wilson, Grant Wilson over there.
Glad they were able to stay away from that tarp. Sometimes that tarp will eat you up.
Tarp monster.
Yes.
Hey, did you ever pull tarp?
Oh, too many times. And I have seen people sent flying into the air in the middle of high winds trying to secure a tarp. It's a dangerous thing when some wind gets under it. Yeah,
That's my absolute nightmare.
I'm not making this up. I've seen people get thrown 10 plus feet into the air when a tarp snaps, you know, and the wind gets out from under it. So.
Dane Dixon drives that ball right into right field, into Dean Moss's glove. So that's going to wrap up our nightcap tonight. IMG goes on to win 12-4 early on in this game. A good back and forth battle, though. And we saw a lot of good talent from both sides, Cozy.
Really, really was. I mean, you saw the fight in Barb High School. You know, it looked like it was going to be a nail biter to the end, but that big inning in the 5th for IMG when they took control of the situation, and we got to see them go with the long ball. So they're going to be problems to deal with moving forward this weekend.